Alright, everyone. Hope everyone's doing good. I'm going to be talking about a very famous writer in the comic book industry, still to this day. His work is very influential among other writers in the comic book industry and up and coming guys. Mr. Frank Miller. Mr. Frank Miller. Yes. His works include Ronin, Dark Knight Returns, Dark Knight Strikes Again, All-Star Batman, Sin City, 300, and things of that nature. He's done a lot of work. He really hasn't stopped. He's not one of those guys that really has stopped writing in comics. He stayed in them for a while. And I can't forget his work on Daredevil. His run on Daredevil over at Marvel. I don't want to forget that either. And like I said, he's stayed in comics. He's done a lot of work. He's put out a lot of stuff, and he's very active. A lot of writers become an artist around Frank's age that have been in the business for a while. They're very inactive right now. But Frank, he stays at it. He stays in the comic book world, and he puts out a lot of stuff, which is what I like about him. That's one thing I hate about writers I like. Like they just do stuff and then they just leave for a while. You're like, okay, where is this guy at? But not with Mr. Frank Miller. That's one thing I can say I like about the guy. He's he's not lazy. He likes writing, and you can see it. Now, a lot of people have said, and I kind of agree with them, the guy is stuck in Sin City, and he hasn't gotten out ever since he's wrote Sin City. That's his bread and butter. That's what he likes. That's what he loves, and you can see it in his other work as well. Some people have even said like the same dialogue. He uses some of the same dialogue or the same sentences or wording in other books in his recent stuff. Now, this is just my personal opinion. Frank Miller I still think he's a good writer. I still think he could do some very good stuff. He also, a lot of people say he's lost his mind during the 9/11 and he just went crazy. I don't know. I don't believe in all that. I don't think he lost his screws and whatnot. He's still a very intelligent man. But his recent work hasn't pleased me. I'll put it that way. That's the nicest way I can put it. His recent work has not pleased me. Hasn't really pissed me off. But it hasn't pleased me either. I'm talking about particularly with two things he's did: The Spirit and All-Star Batman. Now, with The Spirit, I'm going to get that out of the way first. The Spirit was basically Sin Cityifying the book. Now, you can clearly see it in the way the film is done with the whole black and white thing, and really, it doesn't hold up to what the book and the comic is about. He basically took the characters and just made it his own. That would have been fine if it was his own work, but to somebody else's work, you just don't do that, man. I'm sorry, that's just not something you do. I know he was a friend of the author and whatnot, but you could have at least paid respect to the man and done the book justice. But instead, he just decided to make his own thing, and I'm not going to get too off into that. I just didn't like the movie. I didn't think it was very good. That's my personal opinion, and I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to stick with it. And also, his All-Star Batman. Now, what I've noticed is that Mr. Frank Miller is a very pro-Batman guy. He likes Batman, the character, and he likes writing the character. From what I can see, he's done a lot of work with the character. And he seems to be, I'm not going to say he's anti other characters. He seems to be just he favorites Batman. You can see it in All-Star Batman. Batman in the book, people have said that Batman in All-Star Batman is basically Frank Miller as he sees the other superheroes. And in the book, he's constantly calling characters like Hal Jordan dumb. He's like, he constantly says, Superman's dumb, and he doesn't seem to be a fan of Wonder Woman. And the way he makes Batman is this complete badass type of character who, you know, goes around and just beats the crap out of anybody and everybody, and he's the shit. That would be fine, I guess. I don't have a problem with that. You know, I don't have a problem with the guy going around beating the crap out of criminals because they deserve it. The thing is, though, I don't like when writers favorite one character and the other characters are just looked at as dumb. I don't like that at all. I think that's very shitty writing, and I think it's bullshit. You know, he's always he believes that Batman and Superman should be enemies. And whereas other writers kind of see them as friends, he sees them as pure enemies. And I don't agree with that. That's just me. That's just my thoughts. And I still think he could do some good stuff. I still think he has a lot to offer in the comic book world. I would like to see him do more original stuff. He's supposed to be doing Xerxes, which is a prequel to 300, and this is okay, I guess. I haven't read it, but I'll pick it up and see how it is. And the guy has put out a lot of work. You can't say he hasn't done anything. I have to give credit where it's due. Like I said, his run on Daredevil was great. His stuff on Batman is great for the most part, excluding All-Star. And Sin City is good. But I really want to see him do something different. I want to see him do a book that he seems to write the same way all the time. I want to see him do something different and innovative again, like he used to be. And a lot of people say he doesn't have it in him. He's washed up. He's done. He's finished. I don't believe that. I just think he needs to try something different, which is what a lot of writers really need to do. They need to get out of their comfort zone and try something new. And that's what I think he needs to do. So my thoughts on Mr. Frank Miller is good writer. He's just going through a real slump right now. He's I wouldn't even say writer's block because he's putting out stuff. He's just putting out stuff that I don't like. I know some people like All-Star Batman, but I'm not particularly a fan of it. I love the artwork. I love Jim Lee's pencils and all that, but as far as the writing, I'm not a fan of it at all. I don't like when writers favoritism one character over the other, and there's just so many problems I have with that book, and I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on Mr. Frank Miller. That's how I feel about him. So I'm going to leave it at that, and you all tell me, what do you think about him? And I am out. I will be doing more of these. I'll probably do, I don't know, probably Jeff Loeb next. Alright, I'm out.